So you see someone across the room and they just look so joyful. They just look so damned happy and you can't understand why. Why? How can they look so happy? How can they act so joyful? But there is a reason often for why people seem to be very happy, and it is not always the right reason for them. Because if you think about it, they may not be in God's will. They may not be doing the things that God has called them to do. And the feeling of joy, the feeling of happiness, isn't a direct cause of being in the will of God. Because when you're in the will of God, you're doing God's will and you're serving Him no matter how you feel. But this video is going to be about how you can experience an unspeakable joy and be in the will of God as well. And the real key in this message is that joy is marked by difficult decisions. It is marked by being able to make difficult decisions in tough situations. And knowing this will make it a lot easier. So I'll explain why. Because when you are in a difficult situation, for example at work or at home, and you really finding it hard to have joy, and you cannot really muster the joy from within you that you know you have experienced, but it's just not there today because people are being mean to you at work, or you're just not really feeling very good and you're not feeling yourself. And so how can you muster up that joy? Well, I'll tell you, because I feel like God was speaking to me about this graph. And this graph, I don't know if you can see it, is a joy graph. Or no, it's just a graph of how you get joy. And basically on the bottom axis is the feeling of joy. And on the y-axis is the difficulty of the situation, or the difficulty of the choice that you have to make to have joy. Because joy is a choice, and you have to choose joy, and then the feeling of joy and the feeling of happiness comes, and that is what really allows you to feel true, deep joy. That's the only joy that is really so true and so deep. It is the peace that surpasses all understanding that God always, or that it says in the Bible. And basically the way that you get this peace or this joy is by making choices. And as you can see at the top of the graph, it is very high on the difficulty level. So your situation may be very hard and very high in the difficulty level. And if you make a choice, then if you make the choice to be joyful, then it goes down the level, and basically it increases your feeling. This is your feeling of joy and the way that you feel the peace that you have, and the difficulty gets less. And so you make another choice, one more choice, and then it goes down, and the feeling of joy increases and the difficulty decreases even more. And then you make the third choice, and so on, and then the fourth choice, and it gets easier and easier. And it may be a lot more than 4 choices that you have to make. But the real message is that joy is a choice at the start. It's a 2-step process. Or first it's the choice, the actual choosing, oh, I'm going to be grateful in this situation. I'm not going to let my negative mood keep me down. That's why waking up in the morning is so hard, because you're feeling so tired and so almost negative, because it's, you're so tired and you have to wake up, you have to go to work or you have to go to school, and you're feeling so negative. But then when you make that choice, I'm going to be joyful, this is going to be a good day, then it goes down the level one more, and it keeps going down. And that's why 10 minutes after you wake up, you suddenly feel okay again, usually. And it's always the choice, the initial choice. That's why joy is marked by difficult choices in tough situations. And the first choice is always the hardest. When you initially choose to be joyful, that is the hardest part out of the way. And then you can just sit back and you can really relax a bit, and you can just make that second choice and just choose to be grateful for something that you've never really been grateful for. You can choose to be grateful for maybe the food that you eat, or the house that you live in, or the bed that you can sleep in, things that you don't really think about. And then it'll get easier and easier to experience and actually feel that joy, because God feels as well. He's not just God who thinks and is emotionless. He feels, and he wants us to experience joy. So that is how you experience the unspeakable joy. But one way to make those difficult situations easier is to really pursue God and to really make him the center. And by reading the Bible, by praying, those things are often hard. It's hard. It's a difficult choice to make, to actually read the Bible and to pray, which is why I really recommend the book The Pursuit of God, because it made the choice to actually do those things a lot easier, because my desire and my passion and my pursuit of God was so much greater, and my joy was so much. It's probably the book, apart from the Bible, that has given me the most joy in life. And so I'll link it in the description, and I hope this video helped you to experience, I hope this video will help you to experience an unspeakable joy today. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.